There's a couple fights over the weekend. Did you guys see?
I didn't watch the fights. I saw highlights, though.
Yeah, that's all you needed.
Yeah. This one was the least. I had never been less interested in a Triller fight. Yeah. Usually they're good at spectacle and like having this kind of like, I have to watch this, whatever it is. Yeah. And this time I was like, nah.
There wasn't someone to pull you in.
No, and Holyfield apparently was a last second fill in too.
Yeah,
so
it was supposed to be Oscar versus Vitor Belfort, and I think Oscar would have pulled some casuals in.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if it does what Jake Paul does or something like that, or like even like Holyfield or whatever, but not Holyfield, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. But I think Oscar's a big enough name. You're like, let's see if Oscar still got it.
Right.
And but what was interesting was Anderson Silva fought.
Yeah.
And he fought Tito Ortiz. And he knocked out Tito Ortiz, and it almost looked like scripted the way that he knocked him out. But the way that Tito went down, it seemed very legit. Like he seemed like truly concussed. Did you guys see that?
I did.
The clips?
I didn't see the knockout. No, I didn't.
But it sets up a really interesting fight. I think Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul.
Do you think so?
I'll tell you why.
He wants it.
Yeah.
They all do.
I'll tell you why, though. I think Jake Paul is smart to continue to fight MMA guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it enrages the MMA community, and he needs animosity for the interests.
Yeah.
He has to do the Mayweather thing where people are paying to see the guy lose.
Yeah.
Right? I think that he'll eventually get more and more fans that want to see him win and knock these people out. But a lot of people are going to watch these fights because they want to see him get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And Anderson, when he was the best fighter in the fucking world, I think beats anybody. But now he's what, 48 or something? 46?
He looked
up
old.
there. He's up there. But he's a nice fucking boxer. He just beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Okay.
Like who was a pretty legit boxer in his day. So I think what Jake needs to do is continue picking away at MMA guys. And Anderson has enough legacy. Anderson has enough popularity. Anderson has enough support in the MMA community. But he also has the boxing pedigree where people will be like, okay, this is going to be the MMA guy to take out Jake. And this way he can continue to drive the wedge with the UFC. He gets to talk all the shit he wants about Dana White and fighter pay and all that other stuff. I'm going to give Anderson Silva his biggest payday ever, just like I gave Tyron his biggest payday. Really enrage the MMA community, which is the strongest community in fight sports right now. Get them all to support Anderson Silva. Every one of those fighters that came up watching Anderson Silva thinking he was the greatest fighter that's ever existed. There was a time where I think he had fucking won like 10 fights in a row. So like he was just unbelievable in his heyday. I think that is the next fight to make for Jake.
And similar height and weight.
They are similar height and weight.
That's the thing. Now we're getting into, it's not like he's taking advantage of like a smaller
Ben
guy.
Askren, small guy. Tyron Woodley, smaller than Jake. But Anderson Silva, 6'2", 185.
Now, Jake probably walks around over 2.
Anderson will fuck him up.
And that's what we need people to think.
I was just watching the highlight of how he caught him.
Yeah.
Great head movement.
Oh, I mean.
Just came around, counter hook. Like, that was impressive.
And comfortable.
Yeah, it looks like more boxing than an MMA fighter.
Way more.
That was impressive.
Yeah. Really comfortable in the pocket, which I think could be dangerous for Jake because he's able to take advantage of MMA guys and not being comfortable in the pocket. Because if it's an MMA fight, you only need some part of the fist to touch your head and you're going down.
Yeah.
So there isn't a lot of that bob and weaving like we were seeing in there. Whereas boxing, it's like you got your gloves kind of covering up. You can move around. I'm just saying that to me, I think Jake, fuck boxers. Don't fight Tommy Fury. Don't fight any of the boxers. Fight MMA guys with big enough names, pedigrees, and resumes where the whole MMA community is behind them and let that drive the fucking.
I don't think he wants Anderson Silva, though.
I agree. It's a tough fight.
That's a tough fight.
Anderson Silva will fuck him up.
You had to go rounds with Tyron Woodley, who's, he's decent striker, but like not amazing.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva, I think, could.
He got him, but he's older.
He's
the guy's
48.
Is he 48?
46, according to this.
46.
To me, he looked old, and that's where I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's going to hold up. He just looked old. And the punch is great, but also who's he fighting? Tito Ortiz? He's not a boxer, is he?
He was an MMA guy.
MMA guy also, right?
Yeah.
To me, I don't know shit. It seemed like a lateral move in the sense that, like, all right, you fought one MMA guy who can kind of fight. This one's a better striker, but also much older. And it seemed like a lateral move in that sense.
Yeah.
The challenge, I think, needs to seem a little bit bigger for me to seem interested. And maybe Anderson Silva will do it. Maybe you guys will convince me by the time the fight rolls around, I'll buy it again.
I think if you were a bigger MMA fan,
Yeah, that's
And
the thing is these MMA. I was looking at the fucking story as I was researching, and these fans were like, "This is gonna be the guy to knock out Jake." And it's like every single fight, this guy. I can't wait till this guy knocks out Jake.
Yeah.
They are just dying, and they're so sure every next guy that gets brought up is gonna knock out Jake Paul,
Yeah.
and they want it to happen so badly.
Yeah.
And to your point, that's what's gonna make money.
Monetize that
You
feeling.
got it. Yeah, you can't. People can't. People aren't gonna buy a fight they're kind of interested in seeing the outcome of.
Yeah.
You want to see a motherfucker get knocked out, you're
Emotional
buying. Yeah,
investment.
you have
Also-
to emotionally invested for $50.
Yes.
That's not nothing.
Yes.
That's
How good is Anderson Silva's English?
He pretended to not speak English back in the day,
Right, I
So that he
remember
wouldn't
this.
have to do the shit talk with like Chael Sonnen. But
Oh,
he's
really? I
actually,
didn't know
yeah,
that.
he can speak English. He's good.
Could he shit talk with Jake to build a fight?
So he's an interesting one because
He's
like,
never really been a shit talker.
That's what I'm saying.
well, but he also trolls big time. So he trolls in the fight, but I think before he's capable of doing it as well. So like, yeah, I don't know. Again, you want him to be able to help build the hype for the fight. He's going to have more genuine interest than Tyron, but Tyron, the week of the fight, really
Tyron
built
killed
it up.
the week
He
of.
fucking
I
murdered
wasn't
it.
interested until the week
Son,
of.
Yeah.
Earned his money.
Yep.
He earned his money. He murdered it. So what is Anderson going to do to build it up, right? He's not going to tap into any like racial division, right? Because while he's a black dude from Brazil, and they
Brazil.
have their own
Yeah.
kind of like colorism thing going on.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be something that maybe he's not going to go all Black Lives Matter on Jake Paul or all why are you trying to be hip hop or something like that. His issues are completely detached from that.
Yeah.
So this is going to be like, he's going to have to really pretend to go, I want to beat him for the MMA community.
Yeah.
So you put the respect on strikers from that. And I don't even know if he feels that. I think
Yeah.
he's just like, I'm 46. I'm trying to make a few million before I finish this fighting shit.
And then also, how big is that? Is that like audience you're tapping into versus someone else that can just tap into? Yo, I want to smash you like on some racial shit, like on some other
Nah,
thing.
I
like,
think his name and maybe
name is big.
Yeah, maybe me because I was all head UFC.
Right.
Like he was the biggest thing.
Yeah, when you were doing martial arts.
Yeah.
He
Like,
was
the
the
guy.
greatest martial artist.
That guy.
yeah,
And
that
so
ever lived
impressive
at that
because he can
point.
do everything. He
Yeah.
can strike. He can kill you on the ground.
Yeah.
The defense was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
yeah. But
So
I'm
this is the
thinking
fight I would
I'm
want.
thinking from Jake's perspective, he's like, all right, he's a good fighter. He's got hands. He's like a champion,
It's risky, and he might not bring much
and
to
he's
the
not going to bring a ton. Like, let me fight a fucking another basketball player.
tomato can. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Crazy thing, and I'll give this up to you. Isn't this the fucking bout that Trump was announcing?
Yes.
the Holyfield one.
But I mean, this
Yes,
is in the same fight
undercard,
card.
I think.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No one's talking about that shit.
No one's talking about it.
Like Jake Paul has a bigger draw than the ex-president.
oh yeah.
Ta! Why are you giving it up to me? What did I say?
Not just because you said like Jake Paul's the biggest draw of
Oh,
any
yeah,
fighter.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
I had this thought too.
That's crazy.
That
Jake
is
Paul might be
interesting. Yeah.
saving boxing.
Yeah.
Because not even that, just I think MMA, as it got more and more popular, they looked at boxing as like, it's this thing, we can all do it. Jake Paul is proving you can take elite MMA, not necessarily strikers, but elite MMA fighters, put them in a boxing ring, and then a Disney star who's been training at boxing for 3 years
Yeah.
can kick the shit out of them.
Yeah, I think maybe what we were doing with Brendan that I was saying that or something like that.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but you're 100%
Because
right.
Anderson was like, I'm taking the art of boxing so seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they're realizing how different it is. It's not like, oh, we do everything. I kick your ass in a boxing match.
Yeah.
I think Conor and Floyd, we all knew Floyd was going to win, but some people thought Conor would. And now we're like, yo, it's not even the best in the world. It's not even the best ever. It's a fucking Disney star who puts out YouTube videos but's trained for 3 years can beat an MMA guy.
Yeah.
Elite MMA fighter.
Exactly. So
who's been training for months.
When you say you're saving boxing, it's not like you're bringing attention to boxing. It's you're putting respect on the skill.
Yeah, you're reestablishing respect for the sport that was kind of starting to get forgotten as like a second
Completely.
tier.
Completely.
UFC, they do everything. These guys
Yeah.
can box. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And now it's like, nah, boxing is a
its own
different
skill.
animal.
It's not something that's just part of the MMA
Yes.
package. It is its own skill, and if you do not train it by itself when fighting somebody within that discipline, you will lose.
Yeah.
Even if they have far less fight experience than you, like way less, it doesn't even matter. It is its own specific skill. And it's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah.
It just needs to have like the infrastructure and personalities that the UFC does, and they just do that so fucking brilliantly.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.